on. Jabin,
Hey,
thanks for being on the podcast.
I'm pumped to be here.
Really
Hey,
special.
We're so excited
Really
to have you.
special.
First time in Montana.
First time in Montana. First time seeing snow. No, just kidding.
no.
But
Kind of. No.
in years.
They don't do it a lot in Las Vegas.
No, it doesn't. It does not happen. I haven't seen snow genuinely in probably
You get surface of the
4
sun,
years.
but not snow.
Yeah. In the last 2 Thanksgivings, we've purposely went to like mountainous areas for like, we're going to go rent a cabin in Utah and no snow.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
gosh. That's always such a bummer.
We've tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when my daughter Goldie found out found out there was snow, she threw a fit
Did you
last
hear that?
night.
Did you
Yeah.
hear her say that?
Yes.
She was furious. He's like,
Yes.
I didn't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
None of us knew.
Yeah, I FaceTimed. I was so excited.
Clouds don't call ahead.
Yeah, yeah,
Meteorologists know nothing.
She literally just fell down.
Oh,
Dad, I want to go.
Okay, how old is she?
8.
Oh, you guys have a really sweet connection.
Yeah,
It's
we
very
do.
clear.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a fun. Yeah, she's my little BFF. You know.
Yeah, every time you
She's
post little
sweet.
videos and pictures of her, it's it's fantastic. Yeah, you guys just
Oh,
one-on-ones times.
It is great. We always thought we'd have more. She was 6 months old when we moved to Vegas, and then we planted the church, and then it was like we blinked, and it was like, oh my God, she's 7.
Wow.
You
Like,
did have multiple
oops.
children. One's just
no,
called
yeah, exactly. No, yeah.
City
It's-
Light.
It's called City Light.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it felt.
Yeah, honestly.
So-
That's
true.
crazy. So you'll always have her as the reminder of how old your church is.
Yep.
Which
Yep.
is kind of fun.
Yeah,
you
it's
go,
cool.
oh, our church is 7. Like, take
Yep.
some of the pressure off a
Yep.
little bit of like,
Totally.
now our church is
Almost 18.
and Olivia's in college. So it's like,
Wow.
you start to just the personality developing more,
Yep.
a little independence,
Yep.
you know, it's kind of fun.
And it does feel that way. It's like, okay, we're kind of like not a youth group anymore. Almost.
Right.
Almost.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hopefully you always stay that way. Right?
We'll be happy.
The best parts of youth ministry.
Yeah.
If a church ever loses, it's bad news.
That's so funny. No, totally. But it was funny that I was pretty set on like we were like, okay, no more kids. And then Rich in DC got pregnant. He's 41.
Yeah.
I was like,
they're like rabbits, man. They're
No, I
going
know.
for
I
it.
was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe
What's the
we
W?
need to do one more.
Do you have any bets on the W word? Like they have.
W name?
That's what I meant.
I
W
felt like
name.
he said it to me.
Oh, did
And,
he?
Man, I just
Don't-
forgot.
don't-
Well,
don't-
yeah. I don't want to reveal. But I do feel like
he's
he
like,
said
actually, he
it.
told me in confidence, but let me just tell the audience.
And it was pretty
we won't
crazy.
tell anybody.
Because it was like, because they already got Wild.
Okay, so they got Wyatt,
Yeah,
Wild,
Wild,
Waylon, Wyatt,
Wyatt.
Waylon,
Waylon.
right?
is
That's the girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now the number 4W.
That's crazy.
So I don't know what it's
I
going
mean,
to be, but
how many other girl W names can
Yeah.
you think of?
I don't know.
That's such a level of organization. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because all
Just
of Don Cherie's were
D.
are D's. Yep.
Yeah.
D,
Rich
Dakota,
isn't-
Duran.
Yeah, okay, Rich isn't like that.
Rich isn't.
No,
I
yeah.
don't think so.
Mm-mm.
I admire it. I don't have the fortitude for it.
Right.
And it feels like so much planning. But it's so them.
But you
know?
might pick a W because you think, all right, here's our miracle baby, that's it. And then it's like, oh my God, it's our 4th kid. We got to get another W.
Yeah, they picked a hard
Rich,
letter.
spill the beans. Tell us what
What
it's
would
going
be
to
the
be.
hardest letter to keep that, like Q? Like
Q,
just
Z,
keep it going?
maybe.
Yeah,
X.
absolutely.
X, yeah. Oh God.
So
Okay.
I don't think. Oh, please.
Oh, go.
No, I want you to ask.
Oh, I was just going to ask. So you moved to Las Vegas
Mhm.
the
Same as we did
year
from Orange County.
from Orange County.
Yep.
And are you from Orange County?
Nope, I'm from Albuquerque.
I was just about to say
Oh.
that. He's a New Mexico
Yeah,
boy.
yeah, we
Did I
got
know that?
we got
I
a
think I knew
connection.
that.
We don't often get the 505
No,
connection.
yeah,
up in
we got
here.
a connection. Got the
Yeah.
Zia symbol
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah, yeah.
From Albuquerque.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Belen, so an
Okay.
hour south.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm from New Mexico.
Oh
On
my
I-40.
gosh. That's so crazy.
So no, yeah,
I
we're
don't think I knew that.
we're in New Mexico, and I just went camping in New Mexico. I think I text you, right?
No, I saw it on your
Yeah.
Instagram story.
Oh, yeah,
It just brought me
yeah,
great
yeah.
life. Like you camping just brought me life.
At
Like, I was-
Oh
at the
my
San Juan River, and I'm
which
like, if
is
only one
great.
person would
Fly-
appreciate
I said,
that.
did you go fly
Yeah, yeah.
fishing? Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just the stuff.
I haven't been. That's another thing I haven't done in 20 years. Has been camping, but
How old?
because
were
I
you
was like a real New Mexico guy.
when you left.
You know what I mean? Fly
Yeah.
fishing, hunting. I was
Yeah.
like the full
When did you leave?
when I was 20.
Okay, yeah, longer. So,
Yeah, yeah. So 03
So when
or 02.
that's so wild. Yeah, we were there almost exact. We were almost
Yeah.
the same
But
age.
you were in Belen
Uh-huh.
the whole time. You weren't
Mhm.
ever like living
Yeah.
in Albuquerque.
Never
Okay.
in
So you guys
Albuquerque.
were there.
But
at
I
the
knew
same
of
time.
obviously of Calvary, Skip, like
Yeah.
But if you,
they
live
were
in
obviously the
Belen,
big.
you're coming to Albuquerque. Like
Totally.
that's a city that's going to
If you
have a
want
Walmart
electricity,
and a Target.
plumbing,
I wasn't going to say it.
heat.
Right.
It'd be like living in, Hungry Horse and not coming into Kalispell. Like you're going to come in for Costco, you're going to come in for,
Walmart or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
well,
yeah,
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
Walmart in Berlin, but you're not going to have, a mall,
No,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Dillard's, J.C. Penney's, shout out to Penny's. It's all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you do though, yeah. No, I mean, you went to Albuquerque for movie theater.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff was like,
What
you
was
had
the
to go.
population when you lived there?
1,700.
Okay, yeah. So it's very
And
small.
I think it's shrunk. It's like, I've been told that it's like a ghost town now.
What was
Because
the
our
big
whole family
industry?
kind of went north. So
Okay.
everyone went, Los Lunas has actually exploded, which is the next city up. And then obviously Albuquerque. So,
Yeah.
but people migrated. So like, I guess Belen is like, even smaller, which is crazy to think
Do you
about.
have family still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In Albuquerque and Los
Okay.
Lunas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get back?
Yeah. I mean, so we just went back for camping, always Christmas. And then I'll usually do 2 trips a year. Shan will do 2 or 3.
Her family's are too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're from the same,
Oh
love
my
that.
God.
same town, same church, same.
How did you two meet?
We think we're cousins probably. We're like, ugh.
Yeah.
We were glad when Goldie came out. I was like, okay, she looks normal. Like,
How?
Oh my God.
I mean, FDR married his cousin.
it's a little, another thing,
And he did okay.
another
Yeah.
similarity between Jabin and
And
FDR.
I mean, he was president for
What a
16
minute.
years. He did all right. Ended up with polio. Not a great look.
Not a great
Hid the
look.
wheelchair from the American people.
Not
Can you
a great
imagine
look. Can you-
having
yeah.
a president that no one knows is in a wheelchair? I mean, that is
Not today.
not today with TMZ.
No, yeah, you couldn't do it now. Yeah.
You couldn't do it.
So
No,
you
but
guys
yeah, so we,
grew up knowing each other. Like, how old are you?
and well, we started dating when she was 15, I was 17.
Wow.
Then we dated for 5 years and then got married.
Oh my God.
Met in church, you said?
So we've been married 18 years.
Come on. Congrats.
Yeah.
Met in church?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same church, same town, same. Yeah. Like,
That's incredible.
Do you appreciate New Mexico more now that you don't live there? Like, how has your thoughts on the state
yeah.
matured?
Mm.
I definitely, when I grew up, because I was youngest of 5 by
Mhm.
6 years. So I definitely felt like kind of my own guy.
Yeah.
And it was always like, I'm gonna get out of here. Not like get out though, even in a bad way, but I just always envisioned myself being in a bigger city. I really did. I don't know where that came from, but it was just like in me. So like my whole family's still there, just like born and bred, love it. There was just something in me that always thought, I'm gonna go
Wow.
somewhere.
We're
Yeah.
the same person. That was
So-
exactly me. Living from until I was almost 20 in New Mexico,
Yep.
always thought I'm going to New York or LA, big
But you
city.
were born in Pueblo, Colorado.
Pueblo is like the
Wow.
Berlin of Colorado Springs.
Oh yeah, totally.
But 10 to 20 was New Mexico. And I live in a city that's population is 13,000 now.
Yeah.
So you
It is
are
crazy.
in Vegas.
Well, yeah, but now we're
You
in Vegas and
did
Shannon
exactly
wants
what
to
you
live on a
said.
ranch. So it's like, so it all kind of comes full circle,
Yeah,
right?
You
It
can
all
visit
like,
us anytime you
yeah,
want.
it's like we need acreage. It's like it's
Oh
not
my
happening in
God.
We'll
Vegas.
do one of those house
So-
swaps. You
Yeah,
come
no,
to Eaton
totally.
Mountain, we'll come live in Vegas and go see a show and get a
Totally.
good meal.
In
And,
Vegas, you just get a little backyard with a pool that takes up the whole backyard, and that's what you get. you
and the
know?
pool's not a luxury; it's a necessity.
It is a necessity.
Yeah,
I mean,
you want to not die in your backyard?
it's hot.
Get in this.
We had a 120 day this year. It was a world record
Oh.
for Vegas,
Oh,
Oh,
and that day was a Sunday, and I was out in the courtyard shaking hands because we're in a high. We meet in a high school, so we don't have a lobby. So I'm just kind of shaking hands as service is ending, and I got home and I had heat rash all the way down both arms, both legs, down my back, my neck, just
oh
in,
my
like-
gosh.
like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Not like I wasn't out there for an hour. It was just like
Oh.
you're shaking hands in between service, and then so it can get like
that's wild.
hot.
See, I like a hot sauna, but you live in one.
No, yeah,
Like,
it
it's
is.
a
No,
different
it's
thing.
it's
Yeah.
wild. It's hot. So
Man.
I don't do the sauna in the summer.
Sure.
I can't even mentally do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Like even though I know I'm in it, and it's like, well, it's not hotter than the winter, but I can't. Like you just look outside and see like the gas rising from it,
No, it's true.
and
right?
you're like, I
do
can't
that.
mentally do it. So as soon as it cools off, I love getting back in the sauna.
But the pool water must be hot. Like when you jump
Yeah,
in
you
your
don't
pool.
you don't need a heater on.
But I mean,
Yeah, it'll be like 90.
it probably turns into a cold plunge in the summer though, because that Vegas does get cold in the winter, doesn't it?
No, yeah, in the winter it that's how I started cold plunging.
Okay.
Because I started doing all this research on cold plunging, and then I realized, okay, well, our pool is 48 degrees. It's cold enough to be uncomfortable for sure.
Yeah.
So that's how I started getting in. And then when I turned 40, so a year ago, I told Shan, all right, I know what I want for my 40th. because I was doing it enough that I was like, I think I like this. So,
and you
that's
did
so
the real
cool.
deal. You got the nice renew one, right?
yeah, I got
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Like stainless steel and
It's
wood.
awesome.
I've
Yeah.
seen you
No,
plunge
yeah,
it in
yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's like, that's a good looking thing.
It's amazing. It's got the engine. I mean, it's got the, the motor
So you
and
don't get
everything.
a thermal barrier. You don't get, if you hold still and like in
No,
mine,
yeah.
you hold still, you're not going to get that. But with that's
No, yeah, it's
disrupting it.
moving.
Oof,
So you're just sitting
that's
there
rough.
going, yeah.
And what do you set it at?
38.
Dang.
So it's cold. Yeah.
Very cold.
It's cold.
Okay, so that's
Brutal.
so funny because for us, cold plunging in the winter, like I look outside and I'm like, I'm just gonna walk outside. I'm gonna be in a
Yeah,
cold
yeah,
plunge.
yeah.
But Levi still loves to
Yeah,
do
we're
cold
planning on doing it
plunges.
tonight.
Well, you are. He texted me. I was like, you have a sauna? Can we do that instead?
I do have that. can
You know what's funny though about the cold plunge? I find it easier, as weird as this sounds, easier in the winter. Now maybe in Vegas because it's so hot, it's so extreme
Oh yeah.
that it's actually like it's too different.
Interesting.
In the winter, you're kind of already outside and it's cold, and then you just kind of commit.
Yeah.
You're already cold.
Yeah.
I will say this.
I don't know.
The sauna
I
heats
don't
up
know.
faster in the summer. It
Yeah.
takes, when it's like 20 below zero, you're going to wait an hour. You
No,
know,
yeah, you got
or
to
when
heat it
it's
up.
already like 100 or 90, it gets hot so
But
quick.
to be able to go into the sauna in the winter is incredible because
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
it's freezing and then you're just
To
sweating.
It is like a
off.
relief.
Yeah.
to come off
It's a relief.
to come off being cold and just
Yep.
to feel heat. Because I don't know what it is. I feel like I have bad circulation in my fingers and toes. I feel like all winter my toes
cold.
are numb, you know?
Yeah.
So to just go in there and feel hot feels
Yeah.
so nice.
Yeah, I feel like as I get older, I'm colder.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like colder. And I like sauna is like almost daily.
Yeah.
And you,
Yeah,
you have a sauna also.
Uh-huh.
You see David, old man. I mean, too bad they hadn't invented hot water bottles. You know, they had to
Yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
Abishag, the young virgin, to lie
Right.
down
You
next
had to
to
go
him
lay
and
down with
warm him
him.
up. All his wives were like, wait, what? He's like,
Honey,
I promise you, it's just for one.
I promise
for
you,
one.
nothing weird is going on
it's
under
a,
these
it's a
sheets.
living heat pad. And then she ended up being such drama too, like, because Abby, one of the sons wanted her.
Mhm.
Remember the one who had betrayed Solomon?
Oh,
And he
I don't
got
know that
Bathsheba
part.
of all people to
Was it
go.
Adonijah maybe? Or I
Adonijah.
think it was, yeah.
Yeah, I think we have to Google that.
Oh.
Yeah.
The one who,
Don't
which,
fact
which
check
son
me
of
on that.
David wanted
I'm like, was it
Sounds
Jacob?
right.
Abishag?
Is it Malachi?
Abishag. And then, but weirdly, he's so dumb. He put Bathsheba up to it, who's Solomon's mom.
Yeah. No,
It
talk
was-
about a dysfunctional family.
Oh my
Wow,
gosh. Man after God's own
honestly.
heart.
What a mess.
Abishag. Abishag.
Oh, so it's him. Okay. So I knew it was an A.
No, Abishag's the girl.
Okay.
Which son was it? Adonijah.
Adonijah, hey.
You nailed it.
Wow.
Guys.
Hey, that is no small heavy
Jabin.
lifting.
Listen, I want to
with the
thank Skip
win.
Heitzig for teaching me the Bible Wednesday nights.
This is brought to you from Bible at 30,000 feet. Yeah, what a legend Pastor Skip is.
Seriously.
I love him. I went and led worship there one time,
Wow.
which I was shocked by because I thought, like, do you know who I am? You know what I mean? Especially in my earlier days, I was such like a Pentecostal charismatic, but they had me come out for a weekend and he was so kind and we hung out in his
Wow.
office, best office.
Nicest guy.
Yeah.
When was that?
He took me for a drive in his cool car.
Land Rover. Like an
I didn't know
old
if
Land
I
Rover.
could say it, but I was like,
It's
yeah,
like
that's an old, yeah.
He's pretty out with his love of old Land
No,
Rovers.
yeah.
It's the Defender, I think is what they call it.
It's
Yeah.
epic.
He's also like crazy Harley guy,
Yeah.
Because he doesn't really golf. He doesn't really have hobbies. So
that's
that's
his
kind of
thing.
his little thing, tinkering on it. He's
Yep.
got like old, his brother went to heaven on an old Harley Davidson.
Wow.
And ironically, like that still has like a connection point to him, to his brother and his dad.
Wow.
So he's got some old cool Harleys. But Nate is definitely got, I mean, Skip and Lenny are both,
Yeah.
Lenya's more charismatic for sure, the YWAM
Yeah,
influence
yeah.
in her, but I love that. I love them. I love
Right.
that
Do
church.
you know Nate?
Yeah, I think it was Nate. I mean, Nate would have been the invite.
Okay.
And
Right.
he's definitely helping bridge the gap to younger voices and younger leaders. And he wants, he's been really
Yeah.
leading with his dad. Really, it's a cool succession.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Template.
No, it was a really, I can't remember what year that, I think it was right before we planted. So I want to say 2018.
Okay.
And then they were so kind, gave to the church and like,
Hmm.
just super sweet. And yeah, they're the best.
Yeah.
But I mean, growing up in New Mexico was like Wednesday night at Calvary was like,
So
Oh,
would you go?
Disneyland.
Would
Oh,
you
yeah,
go there?
yeah.
Oh.
He sits on the stool, just
Yeah.
rips 10 chapters from
Right.
Ezekiel.
Yeah.
You're just like, what is
With
happening?
his little
here?
mic.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Little gooseneck.
and it would just, with his turtleneck, or whatever he's wearing.
just wave. His
Yeah.
hair in a
No, it was
wave,
like-
just
But it was like a thing. Like you would go Wednesday night to hear Skip
Yeah.
teach,
Yeah.
we had
And,
Pastor Skip and Linda on the podcast, and he shared some of the stories that you would have heard going through the Bible. He had done this astral projection thing before he got saved, where he like could leave his body and fly Doctor Strange style and check on people and stuff. And he would like go into like,
because he was a real hippie, right? I mean, like
dude,
a real,
but like Anton LaVey, like gnarly, like, and it's Jennie kept getting like shivers. Like, it was so scary.
It's like, oh, that's a thing.
He's doing a pastor's conference.
That is crazy.
I just saw you posted about it, like exposition conference.
Wow.
He's calling it Nuts and Bolts, where pastors can come in and learn how to exposit from him. And there's I don't know anybody better.
Wow.
You know, he's just.
Do you do expository ever, like throughout the year, or
yes, I would say.
I feel like
every time I teach, I'm trying to unpack the text. I would say in expository. I don't usually do purely topical. Where I'm actually learning around. To a fault, I'm like, I'm going to have a text and I'm going to base there. And my points are going to come from there. But I grew up under him.
I don't know if that's to a fault. I think it's
you know what I mean.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
There's a merit in a topical teaching. You know, there's a time and a place.
You're getting one tonight. Okay, sorry.
no. See,
but no, I would say I do 2 books a year, 2 Bible books a year. And then every sermon would be like, you read a text and then you break the text down. But I don't do, not every Sunday is so it's probably 3 months out of the year I'm actually in a book of the Bible.
When you meant expositional, meaning do a verse by verse through a whole book, versus expository as a style.
Right. Yeah.
So same right now, we're about that rhythm, 2 a year. I ripped through so many early on. We had done,
that's pretty much just what we did.
All we knew.
Right, that's all you knew,
The book of John, Revelation.
I thought it was kind of
open up John and here we are.
It's a bad word, Right.
I
mean, there's such hardline churches that like, if I remember having a conversation at Bible college. This was when I knew like maybe I'm not fully in the camp that I meant to be in long term. There was a big like argument that broke out, whether it was compromise and an act of the flesh to break from your expository study through a book to do a Christmas or an Easter message.
Wow.
And it was a rowdy conversation. And I was listening to these guys like going like, yeah, it's like a flesh. It's the flesh that would cause you.
Older guys or
guys
like
at Bible college.
Oh, wow.
But that was the level of thinking.
That's how deep it was.
Like if you break from Ezekiel to do Christmas, you're pandering to the Hallmark calendar and you're not really honoring
You're a pragmatist.
The Lord.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, guys, show me how Jesus taught that way.
Yeah. Show me Paul.
All of his sermons were topical.
Paul's like, somewhere back in the Old Testament, it says something, it's like out of context. You're like, oh, Paul.
Jesus would be like, look at these birds. Let me tell you about them. It reminds me of a story, Not that it's wrong, but just to be that focus on a system,
Right, totally. No. I think it's super good. It always forces me to say things that I wouldn't say, which is the best part of it. You're like, okay, now I got to hit this.
Yeah.
Like, here it is. But then on the flip side, you do have Paul going like, somewhere the scriptures say, and there's that too. So it's like, you have to kind of have that balance.
It keeps you from going to, I still haven't been able to bring myself to do at the movies. I just,
I can't either. I don't have a piece about it.
I can't.
I don't
have any problem with churches that do.
Well, a lot of people are doing it.
All the churches.
Yeah.
I just can't. I don't know. I just.
Never say never.
I know.
I thought, I told
myself
myself I was going to do it based off of Chosen. So it was going to be a Chosen at the movies.
That is a great call.
But then I still couldn't do it. So then I would just show a clip from Chosen and then I still preached live. I couldn't not be there. Like I'm just too,
our wiring
too old school, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, you got to preach.
Our churches would be 10 times bigger if we did at the movies. I know it. I just can't bring myself to
We'd both be on vacation right now and church is just going.
Just something like, I bring my Bible, I read my note, I bring my iPad, something about like Avatar face paint. I don't know.
Wow. Oh my God.
When John Wick killed that man for stealing his dog, it reminds me.
That is so like sin.
Doesn't it remind you of Samson? You're like, what? Okay, yeah, okay. But no, it's awesome for
creative.
Guys who have the peace to do it. I feel like that's a big part of preaching though, right? Or leading a church. It's like, you got to preach from your gut.
Yeah.
Like there has to be that burden thing that happens that like, I got to feel it.
Yes.
On some point.
Yes.
It's like, but again, I think the good part of preaching through a book of the Bible is, it does force you to like creatively say what needs to be said because that's the text. But I'm just saying, I've had to do that. I think now for 6 years is like, no, I got to be honest to my gift or whatever that thing is in you that,
Well, I even see like how Jesus and Paul both spoke to current events too.
Yep.
Spoke to God's the moment, used things that were happening, and I think the ability to be open to the Spirit and speaking to your moment and into the life of your church is so powerful.
Yep.
Well, and I think what's also so powerful about both of your styles is you're expecting there to be people in your midst that haven't been to church or that don't know Jesus. So to be able to have topical, to have biblical, like I love how you like if we've been singing a song about the blood of Christ, like you come up and you're like, for anyone who's wondering,
right. Have that quick moment.
You might be wondering what we're talking about here and be heading for the door. You know, it is so important to do that, isn't it?
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, some people aren't aware of that, and I do think, and for most, I think people in the room, it's like, oh well, thank you for taking 20 seconds. That's all it is, but it really does help to kind of.
Well, and it reminds all of us.
It's
like,
courtesy.
we know that the blood of Christ, but to have it have it told us, like, this is how we can tell people who don't know Jesus what the blood means. Like, I just think it's just always helpful.
Well, the reason I asked about New Mexico is when I lived there, I was like, if I see one more Adobe building, one more Georgia O'Keeffe painting, you know?
Yeah.
But now, like, I'm 40. I've lived out of New Mexico for longer than I ever lived there. And every time I go back, I'm like, this place is charming. You know, I want to get some art.
Right.
Find some turquoise jewelry.
I was going to say, I need a turquoise bracelet. Great chili.
Of course.
Yeah.
That never gets old. But so, I find myself more and more like aware of the breathtaking beauty of the Sandia Mountains.
For sure.
And go to Taos. And I was like, I took my dad fishing up in the Valle Caldera National Park, and I'm like, oh my, the San Juan River, there's so much to that state.
Well, yeah, when I tell people I'm from New Mexico in Vegas, they go, oh, so you're used to the desert. I'm like, no. It's a totally different thing. Vegas looks like Mars, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's dead.
Yes.
It's not even like Phoenix. Phoenix has the aquifer that goes underneath, so it's like stays kind of green. Vegas is brown. So like, I'm like, no, New Mexico is beautiful. Like it is
It's like Denver and Phoenix had a baby, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
High desert is different than desert.
Now, I've never been to White Sands. I've never been to Carlsbad Caverns.
Oh man, I've been to both.
And so like, I'm like in my head, like I want to take, no, I know. I was like, but it's just, I think Carlsbad's like a big drive, isn't it? From
I was going to say, there's no easy way to get there. You'd probably like fly there.
Yeah,
fly to Carlsbad from, I don't know.
Oh, really?
It's a big state, bigger than you think, long-wise, you know?
It's kind of like Montana. It's huge, it's like in the sense of like, but I think there's airports, like Hobbs has an airport, Carlsbad has, I mean.
Just got to buckle down.
I don't know. I've never been to those areas to like preach, but as a kid, I went to all those.
You know? Yeah, we did, there's Lewis and Clark Caverns, which is, I think, a smaller version of the Lewis and Clark one. The pure darkness is so scary.
Mm-hmm.
When the guy like,
when they turned the lights off. As a kid, that was jarring. Oh. When they were like, all right, here we go. And
everyone get your bearings.
It was like,
But it was annoying though, because so many people on our tour just grabbed their phones and kind of like lit the screen. So there was
okay, see, this was in 1990, you know, or 88 or something.
You had to bring a flashlight to have
it was just like, ooh, it was like,
so
it was jarring.
And they got the stalactites.
Funny that you say that because it brings me right back to like, oh man, I remember that.
Do you see the little dinosaur logo guy? See if you can bring him up. It was look at that. That's Lewis and Clark. Yeah, so same thing. But Google Carlsbad Caverns like logo. Or would it be like character or mascot?
Mascot, yeah, maybe.
Mascot. He was like a little dinosaur with a headlamp. Carl S. Bat. That's not what I remember.
I don't remember that either.
I remember like a little like dinosaur looking guy. Maybe that's the new one.
Updated? Not the caveman there.
I think it's a downgrade.
Funny.
But White Sands, I've never gone to. Like did you do the nuclear site testing?
All that.
See,
we went and did all that. Yeah.
It's one of those things like you live there.
You just sled down in the on the sand, and then
And with that, how long would that drive be from Belen?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, same as Albuquerque, probably. I don't know, 4 hours, 5 hours. It's far. I mean, it's definitely like.
Wow.
And have you done Taos?
Yeah,
have you done
all
Santa
that.
Fe, all that?
You know, I preached this year in Santa Fe for a friend, and it was so beautiful. And I knew where I wanted to stay, and so I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna cover everything." Because I don't want to like go to a Holiday Inn, like because I knew there were some nice hotels.
Yeah.
And I stayed downtown at the Rosewood in the heart
I
of
hear that's fantastic.
the inn at Ananazi or something like that, but it's like a Rosewood property.
gosh.
Oh my gosh. But I didn't want him to put me there, you know?
Sure.
So I was like,
Right, right.
yeah, I was like,
church to put you
I
there.
got this.
yeah, I was like, let me, and it was like, and then we just walk around the little center area. And, it was like,
Plaza.
So charming.
it was so cool. I hadn't been to Santa Fe
The
since I was a little
everlasting
kid.
stairs.
Wow.
Do you ever go on Christmas Eve?
Well, not since
Like
probably,
when you were a child?
yeah, but probably not since I was 15.
They
so
do
it's
the
been a long time. Oh, yeah,
luminarias
yeah, yeah.
on Christmas Eve, like nowhere on earth.
Mhm.
I mean, that is just, was it Canyon Road, or was it Canyon Road?
Yeah, something like
One
that.
of those big roads.
Uh-huh.
It's like miles of these
of it.
luminarias.
Yep.
Mm.
And I think that's one of those things too. You're like, no one puts luminarias up anywhere.
Yeah,
You
nowhere
know,
else in.
You see those
yeah.
things. There's like the brown paper bag with kitty litter or
Yep.
sand in them and a little
You
tea
can't
light.
even do it in Montana because they would just be dumped on with snow. There
Yeah.
have been times where I'm like, is there any way that I could put
Right.
luminarias
Put
You
it-
could probably do. They have artificial ones that like are on a string. You could
Yeah.
probably, and they're closed on the
they'd
top.
still
Yeah, like
get-
my parents' church
beauty of
in
it.
Las Lunas, like every Christmas Eve for Christmas Eve service, like the men go out, you know, it's like a church of 40 people, but the men go out and like line the whole property with them. And then,
Incredible.
so when you
So
drive up, they're all
cool.
lit. And, you know, it's, yeah, it is like a very,
just
another New
traditional.
Mexico thing. But that Santa Fe was like, I was blown away.
Absurd.
Yeah, it was like, wow, this is really
And as
beautiful.
an adult, you're going back going like, oh, you know, you didn't realize that as a kid,
Yep.
how nice it was.
Yeah. No, for sure. It was epic.
So when you left New Mexico, was it to California?
Yeah, and I was with I was traveling and a part of with Jensen Franklin.
Hmm,
That's
Yeah.
where
right.
I eventually ended up working. And
So when you say traveling, like his itinerant stuff?
yeah, so I was doing itinerant stuff too. So before I planted the church, I traveled full time for 6 years.
Wow.
And so went all over the
I
world.
thought you were
Wow.
on staff at the Orange County
and then
Free Chapel.
and then came on staff.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Which is so
So-
crazy because I only knew Pastor Jensen came on my radar because Pastor Greg Laurie was using his building
Yeah.
to launch his
Yeah,
Newport
yeah.
Beach harvest.
So when did you live in California then?
Well, I lived in California 10 through 17. No, 18.
Mm, Okay.
10 through 18.
Gosh.
And
'cause we were
so,
traveling back and forth from there all the time.
But we did there towards the end, he kept asking me to come on staff. And I just like kept saying no,
Mhm.
you know. And then he eventually was like, you know, he just kept talking to me. So I said, you know, I really want to plant a church. So I don't want to come on staff and then leave you. And I don't know when we're going to plant a
You
church.
were you disclosed all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I was like, are you okay with this? Are you in? At that point, he was like, what if you did 3 years for us? And so he's like, could you commit to 3 years? All right. No, I think I actually brought that up. I don't remember. But no. He would have brought it up. And then I said, yeah, I can.
You can do that. Yeah.
I can do it. And so we did.
Wow.
And then we moved.
And so at that point, you were leading worship. Were you also preaching?
Yeah, I was leading worship and then preaching, I guess like on teaching team, I was doing 8 Sundays a year.
Wow.
Yeah, for him.
That's amazing.
And then,
No, when I met you,
Leading.
it was at Rhode Island.
God, can you believe that? I remember that.
It was maybe 17, probably right on there. Would that
Yeah.
have been, you would have been on staff coming towards what?
Towards the end.
Towards
I
the
mean,
end.
yeah, I feel like that was
Maybe 16?
16 because we were, or no, 17 because we were just starting to talk about like, this is happening.
Mm.
It was the first, I remember the time I met you was the first time I went. Second time they had it at the Dunkin' Donuts like arena.
I remember that.
But the first one was at the building that I went to anyhow.
Okay,
And
yep.
I remember meeting you in the back room.
Yep.
And you were leading worship at that one, I think.
Wow, yeah.
And
Yeah, I was leading a lot of worship back then. It was
Yeah.
like 50-50. I'd do, you know,
Wow.
anywhere I went.
And was that as much how did you and Pastor Jensen first collide?
We met through a mutual friend named Marcus Meekum. Do you
Gotcha.
ever met Marcus?
I know the name. I don't know him.
He's amazing.
Yep.
So he worked for Jensen and they were just super close. And that's
Mm.
kind of how we got introduced. But yeah, I remember those conferences in Rhode Island. It was unbelievable.
What's
The
name of that? What's the name of that
Duncan.
church?
Okay, well, Jordan Boyce.
Jordan Boyce.
And I just saw him at that thing.
Redemption?
Chad.
What's the church called? He rebranded it. after he took it from his father, right?
I feel like it's the name of Awakening.
Awakening.
Because it's the name of
Name
the
of the event.
conference.
He took the church name and made it his.
So maybe it was something like that,
imprint
Redemption or something, but now it's
maybe I'm
Awakening.
wrong.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But the thing, I remember the opener at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. He went through like from literally like Genesis and went through all of church history, like in the 3-minute opener.
Wow.
He's a brilliant guy.
Oh, he's brilliant. And he's done a
Very
great
smart.
He took his dad's church. He's done an amazing job.
Wow.
But I hadn't seen him in forever. And then I saw him at Chad's,
At the pastor's gathering.
at the pastor's
That's so
gathering.
cool.
Yeah. But you were saying.
Did we close the loop on that story,
No,
by the
because
way?
you were, okay, so we were talking about going to a midnight movie. And you're like, I don't do midnight movies anymore, And so.
Too old.
Too old. So we're at Chad's thing and Judah's there. And a lot of us haven't seen Judah Smith
He's
in a
not
long
doing a lot
time.
out,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's not. So it was like, so Judah's like, come to the house. So like, we're all tired, but it's like, we want to be around Judah because we love,
Right.
He's like
So-
a Bible character. Yeah.
And this, he's like, yeah. So it's already like midnight
Oh gosh.
at Chad's new building because they did like kind of a little after party, snacks or whatever. And so we're like, okay, So I kind of look at Rich like, you're going?
Oh, Rich is going.
So then Rich is
I'll
like,
tell you that right now.
yeah. So he's like, yeah. And I was like, all right, well then, okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
we're going. So we all go. We end up at Judah's, I think, till 5 a.m.
Oh.
Then we have to be back at Chad's for pastors gathering at 9.
Oh my god.
And we just here's what it is. It's 10 people around a fire watching Rich and Judah perform,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
And,
totally.
yeah.
Totally.
And we're
Yeah.
just all
Yeah.
filming, just enjoying, right? We're just clapping,
Yes.
Wow.
getting autographs. And so, but the next, we got back to the church on like at 9 a.m. for session. I just looked at Rich and he wrote me in the morning. We're supposed to get picked up at 9 and I feel like it was 8:59 and he's like, I just woke up. And he goes, what have you done to me?
What have you
and
done to me?
I go, Rich, only you could have got me out of the house past 9 p.m.
Seriously.
And then, but we all talked about it for weeks, how it like took us like a week to recover because we're all old men now. We don't
Oh,
do
yeah.
that anymore. I was like,
Oh.
I am not 30 anymore. I
No.
can't
That's
just.
brutal.
Oh.
I've seen 3 a.m. 10 times in the past 5 years, and they're all attached to Rich Wilkerson.
Oh, yeah.
They all have his name attached to them.
Honestly.
And it's like you have to like rest up to be with him,
No,
'cause
yeah.
the
No. It
pace
was like,
that
man, I got to
runs
take a
at.
nap tonight before I go to.
Yeah.
His appetite for life
Yeah.
is so insatiable and just
Yeah.
joy and fun, and his
Curiosity.
laugh is
Right.
so iconic.
No, yeah. It was incredible. But it was just like, I have not done that in so long.
Oh,
and don't plan on doing it
No.
anytime soon.
Yeah,
we just
went
ate
to
in and
Miami-
out,
Miami
like
for his
Judah sent
birthday, and it was
his
like
son
that.
out to get just burgers and we just
my
sat. And,
God.
but it was
I
like,
mean,
So
that's-
fun.
so that was good.
I
Shout
mean,
out to In and
that's-
Out.
That's so, yeah.
But it
shout
was
out.
painful.
Oh my gosh.
5 a.m.
Ah.
And then I had to preach the next morning.
Oh my
When
god.
you really
And,
pay that bill is that you get on that early flight the day
Oh,
after a day
man.
like that,
Isn't that the worst? You get on that 6 a.m. like, what?
and
What
your
have I
eyes just
done?
burn.
Uh-huh.
Your just eyelids just burn. Reminds me of youth ministry. You finish
No,
those
it is that. It's like that.
walk-ins, and you just get back to your apartment or whatever.
You
You're
feel
just
like you lost
I,
a year of your life.
I don't feel okay.
Right. It's such a rich thing though. Like I didn't know that was like a thing until, back in the day when we were all kind of like doing youth conferences and, you're back at the hotel by 11, all of a sudden the phone like, hey man, come to the room. And it's like, why?
What?
We're just going to hang out.
Yeah.
And then that's what you do. Cause that's what
you
Rich
do.
wants to,
Laughter
because he
and
doesn't
catching
want to
up.
go to bed.
He doesn't want to miss anything.
And
no one else wants to miss anything.
I always knew when Rich was ready to go to bed, but he didn't want to just say it. So he'd go, let's turn on a movie. That was his way of like,
That's how
so
he
the
goes
movie
to
goes
bed.
on and then he
just goes down.
goes
Oh
down.
man.
But it's like, man, I don't know how he's just unbelievable
Yeah, it's
that he can still
it's
go like
wild,
that.
The energy.
And when did you get Vegas on your radar for the church plant?
So I had a short season in Vegas right before OC, and then where I worked at a church as a worship leader, but not as a preacher. I wasn't a preacher yet, you know what I mean? Then traveled full time, then OC, then wanted to go to Phoenix to plant because it just felt right. I didn't want to stay in OC with Jensen. Like I didn't want to do that. Didn't want to go to LA. And back then too, it was like Chad, Irwin, Judah. It just felt like everyone was in LA, so it was like, okay, we're not going to go to LA.
Yeah.
And then we were praying about Sacramento.
Wow.
Phoenix, Salt Lake. Like we were just thinking like kind of West Coast, but not. And then we went to Vegas to visit Shan's sister. I want to say it was her birthday or something, but we went to celebrate her birthday. And the moment we like hit the city limit, it was like,
wow,
bawling.
You
and
felt that call.
Yeah. Like I'll never forget it. Behold, shout out to Hillsong, was playing in the car. And cause we drove in from OC and it was like, I looked at Shan, I think she said, is God speaking to you? Cause I was just a mess. And I said, I think God's speaking to me. So it was pretty clear. It was so clear that I went back that weekend and met with Jensen immediately. And I said, I think it's Vegas. And I was pretty sure it was Vegas, but I didn't want to like be too sure with him, you know? So he first words were, not Phoenix. That's what he said. He like slammed. He went, not Phoenix, because he loves Scottsdale. So he was like pumped that. I said, I don't think it's
like, I was gonna
Scottsdale.
come visit
Yeah.
you.
I was like, I don't think it's Scottsdale. I think it's Vegas. And so then that started that whole process. I think that was 16. Yeah, I think
What a
so.
legend. That's a beautiful story. That's just origin. That's amazing.
Yeah. So it was a cool, and then we planted in a middle school cafeteria. And so 6 years ago.
And did you guys,
And then
maybe you said I didn't get the timeline. How long did you live there before you started?
we moved end of 2017, started beginning of 2018.
Okay, so you were there.
6 months.
Okay, 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. It's better. We got here and started 6 days later. That was not the right idea. Yeah.
Just like a Bible study or something.
Yeah,
just like, hey,
we
come
walked
on out.
around like, hey, you want to come? We're starting. It was like, we didn't know ARC. We didn't know
We didn't know
strategy. We didn't know
anything.
interest meeting.
Right.
Once we heard about all that, we were like, someone write that down.
Yeah.
Interest meeting.
Man, that's smart. Someone should
Oh,
do
brilliant.
that. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, we did do that. So we landed and we started a monthly. The only difference is that like back in that day, especially, ARC was like, don't do preview services because you're not good yet. Like, like you're not going to have production, you're not going to have good music. You're not. But I just was like, I'll lead worship and teach. So we did a monthly preview service where I would literally lead all the worship. An MC would come up and like do something, and I'd like take off my in-ear monitors and like and
Which
put
is
on like
kind
a
of
headset.
Wow.
Being a superpower that you can.
No,
do
yeah,
that
I mean
you-
it helped.
It is, yeah.
And then would teach.
And you still do that. You'll come up and flow and sing and
Well, the whole first year of our church, I led worship every Sunday morning, every Sunday for a
And
year,
preach.
and preached
Wow.
for a year. And it was that same kind of thing. Like I'd run off, take out my monitors, put on a headset, and I did it for a year.
I've seen clips where you just have your headset and your mic and you're just
Yeah.
singing and
Well, so on Sundays now, we always create the service flow to where worship ends, and it's always a song right before I preach, so I can kind of get up and kind of
feel the moment,
feel the moment with
You're
a
so
handheld,
gifted
and then
in
I'll
that
put it
way.
down,
You're
and then
so gifted in
thank
that.
you, yeah. So
which is amazing that God
Yeah.
used all the pieces of your story, itinerant worship leading, preaching, and then finding
well, and
together.
it's funny though now when I travel, because I never sing when I travel. So like even this thing that we just released, like how many people wrote me like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you sang. Is that like a thing that you do? And I was like, that's all I ever did. But I just kind of got away from it. So
out. You're not saying yes when you get asked to go out and sing.
I'd say
anywhere.
no, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a no, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just too much work. It's like, I don't even own monitors anymore. Like to play with a track and to like, I don't know, I just don't even do that anymore. Like it's been so long.
It's a different season.
Yeah.
But
And worship was different back then.
you're still writing.
Right?
though.
It was like,
Right.
but I'm writing.
You're writing with City Lights team. And you guys just released
Yeah. So we released an EP of just covers, but then March 2025, we'll release a full length original album. Yeah.
and what's the EP called?
I don't know yet.
City
I don't know what
Light
we're going
EP,
to call it.
the one that's out.
Oh, the one Sundays.
Okay.
Sundays.
Sundays.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Amazing.
so, and it's literally just from Sunday. That's what was kind of our thought. Like, let's
Love
capture moments
it.
from Sundays.
Yeah.
You told me before we started that you are writing. You're writing a book.
Writing a book, wrote a book,
Wrote a
I guess.
book.
Yeah. So I guess
Hey,
it's
that's
done.
not a
Yeah.
small
Thank
That's
you.
a big
Thank you.
deal.
So,
Words are hard.
oh man, I didn't enjoy it. Yeah. It was like necessary, but not, yeah. But I honestly, I preached a sermon in 2019 called What to Do in a Valley. And then that was it. It was like a one-off sermon. And then literally for probably 2 years been working with my literary agent on like an idea. So we kept like forcing ideas, and I wanted to write on, like, I had some ideas that I was passionate about, but I couldn't write about it. I didn't feel like I wasn't inspired enough to. So someone, I think, like mentioned me or something, like, this sermon still speaks to me, 5 years later, whatever.
Wow.
And I clicked on it. It was the first time I ever spoke at Elevation.
I heard that talk.
Okay,
I remember where
so,
I was
it was
when
a
I heard
real-
that talk.
Wow.
I remember where I was when I heard you give that talk.
Wow.
Like, I can picture
Wow.
where I was
Where were you?
driving to Bozeman to meet with Peb. And I just had downloaded a bunch of churches' podcasts for the drive, 6-hour drive. And I
Hoping
loaded
to
up that
listen to
one.
Stephen. There I am.
No. I knew it was you.
Yeah.
I knew it was you because I saw your name and I loved you and love you. And I was like excited about hearing
Yeah.
a word from you. And I
Wow.
saw the title and
Yep.
thought, what to do in a valley?
Yeah.
What a great sentence. And loved the drive
Right.
listening to
Wow.
it.
Thank you.
Phenomenal.
So I sent it to my guy and I go, I think this is it. Because it was 5 points, which is, I don't recommend a 5-point sermon, but it was 5 points. And I was like, I think these could be like 5 themes. And then under every point could be like 3 chapters, so it could be like kind
Headings,
of
like 5 headings,
kind
yeah.
of 5 headings. And he goes, I love that. So what I ended up doing last year is I took the 5 points and turned it into a 5-week series and then preached 3 points under every one of those. And then we turned those into chapters.
Wow.
And so we turned it into a,
Do you find writing it
So-
to preach was easier than sitting down at a typewriter to write the
Totally.
book
That's
kind of a thing?
awesome.
That's how Max
100%.
Lucado writes his books.
Really?
Always preaches them first and then
Wow.
revise.
Yeah.
I do it the opposite, but
Okay, yeah.
just for me, the process works differently that way. I write it, then I preach
Yeah.
it. But
Well, they didn't want me to do that because they didn't want content out, like online. Like they didn't want but I was like, no, I have to verbally it's just how I've
it's
always
Yeah.
so
preached.
bigger and so different.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully people will get plugged in, but
Right.
it's
But I told him
symbiotic.
that. I said, even at that, it's 18, I think it'll be an 18-month gap. So I was like, by that time, it's all new
People
anyway.
that are in a new valley.
Yeah. There'll be a new
Honestly.
problem.
They'll see
Yeah,
the
yeah.
title and go, I need that.
Yeah, I need that.
I need that.
I forgot you preached that. I need that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
No, yeah. And I told them that too. I was like, it's just, it'll be fresh again when it comes out. And so I'm excited about it. And, the kind of the thought is when God tells Israel, I'm bringing you into a land with hills and valleys. So there's going to be ups, downs. It's milk and honey, but it's also giants. It's,
Yeah.
It's good and it's walled cities, and it's, it's that whole journey of what we all have to do to possess, what God has for us. So it's the manna ceasing. So there's a part on that as well. So I added obviously a lot from that sermon. So, living off the land, a new way to live. And so I'm excited about it.
Great.
Yeah. So
Great. Congratulations.
October 25. it'll
Is
come out.
release?
Yeah, it's good.
How was the process for how you enjoy it?
Well, I did like it the way I did it because I got to verbally process it, and
But
then
as
I
far
got
as
to
editing,
Yeah.
have you been in that yet?
I actually liked. I kind of liked the workload of it. Actually, it was actually fun, and it wasn't. I don't know. It kind of felt like songwriting to me is hard too. I think I don't know. Sermon prep is hard for me. I don't know. I think all of it's hard in the sense of like
If you're doing it right.
if you're doing it right,
Yeah.
and if you're an artist at all, you care. So in that sense, it was like it was good work, but it was hard work, But I mean, I feel that way about every song. Feels like work. Every sermon, I'm, I don't know, working hard at it.
Yeah,
So
totally.
it just feels that. So it was rewarding.
Is it locked or are you
And,
still in the midst of it with the words on the book?
Done. Yeah, done.
You can't make changes now.
Well, I guess I could.
I'm just,
Yeah,
There
yeah.
comes that point when you can't anymore. And that's
No,
a terrifying
no.
feeling.
I don't think it doesn't have to be done. I think till May 1st of 2025.
Wow.
I think is the date.
You're ahead of the game.
Yeah, we're way ahead of the game
Seriously.
because I just got all the content done so early,
Yeah.
and it was more of our publisher going, this won't release till October 2025, just because of their queue of other
What's the publisher?
HarperCollins.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
So they just we're like, yeah, either way, that's when it's coming out. So
Do you love reading? Are you a book lover?
yeah, I'm definitely more of a always on the hunt for content thoughts more than maybe love just the act of reading. You know what I mean? But I'm always on the hunt for.
How do you consume content?
I always have an audiobook going of some kind in the car or podcast, but audiobooks. But then I read too. Yeah, still read. And I still read commentaries. I just always trying to figure things out, And so, yeah.
Do you do digital or physical
books?
Commentaries?
Yeah. Physical commentaries.
Do you use,
I've just got
logos, the
big,
Bible software stuff
No,
too?
I have that too. But at home, I'll still have big commentaries of I don't know. Still read a Bible. I still read a
Real
and
Bible.
I still read a real book.
Is the quote.
Yeah, I still read the Bible. I still believe in the Bible.
You heard it here first, folks.
But I
Jabin
also
Chavez
still read
reads the Bible.
I also still read physical books too. So I usually have a audiobook in the car, and then I have a book at the house. So I'm reading The Generous, I think it's called The Generous Life by Rob Ketterling.
Oh yeah.
He just came out with it. And then in the car, I'm listening to John Maxwell's new Jesus, the High Road Leader. So
Amazing.
I just always try to
leadership, life, ministry.
Yeah.
Do you like any non-ministry or leadership genres?
No, I don't yet, but I want to start getting into, because I feel like even when I get around someone like you, I'm like, God, I got to step this up. But I want to start doing autobiographies to just learn about people. I don't like fiction. I've tried. Shannon she's always reading a book. And it's always like a fictional book. I don't.
Is there a period of time or genre of biographies you would?
No, I've just thought about I want to get through the presidents. I want to get through some more American history. I want to get through some of that.
So good.
And just kind of know that.
Yeah.
And so, I think audiobook for that I'll for sure need to do to just kind of.
You run a lot, so cardio time.
Yeah, I do. I walk every day.
Do you throw audiobooks in then, or is that more just thinking time?
Usually on the treadmill, I'm either on the phone or podcasts.
Yeah.
Yep. I watch a lot of stand-up comedy too. Eesh.
Great communication.
Sorry.
That's great. No, man, great.
But it helps me with communication. That's why I do it.
And those guys, now they're taking one thing and perfecting it over a year and then doing a new material after the special, but no notes.
Right.
They're out. For the most part, they're out there, that's.
I'm not a big movie guy. I don't this would maybe with my own anxieties or whatever, I don't like adding any more anxiety to my life.
Stress.
Yes. Hello.
You don't need more cortisol.
Yeah, I don't need more. I don't need more. So I'm always looking for relief. And so comedy and stand-up comedy gives me
absolutely
a break.
You're a foodie. Every time I've asked you about restaurants, you just seem to know everything. I've seen you post on Instagram.
I think I would have been a cook if I wasn't.
Okay, you're all about it.
Yeah. And I love cooking too, yeah.
And you
Who's the
posted...
funny cook that you like?
Maddie Matheson.
Oh my God, he's the best. Yeah, he's so funny.
He's absurd.
He's amazing.
You'd probably be like a comedian cook.
Yeah, I'd be a comedian. Yeah, that's what, if I wasn't a preacher, I'd be a comedian cook. TV cook.
That's a tough bill. There's not a lot of them. Maddie's kind of a...
No, he really is kind of in his own thing.
He's amazing.
Man, he's good. He's smart.
Oh,
I want to eat at one of his restaurants. I just never go up to Canada.
Canadian,
but yeah. They're all in Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that.
He just posted this whole thing I saw about his sobriety journey.
Yep.
Wow.
So cool. He was ended up in the hospital and just
He said
it's been 2 or 3 years off drugs.
He's been losing weight and he's
so
a big boy, but I think he's
I love his vibes.
But,
I love his sense of humor. He's so good. His tattoos are so good.
No, yeah, he's cool. He's an artist. Lives out on a farm, the whole thing.
Dang.
He's the Brandon Lake of celebrity funny chefs.
Yeah. Good way to put it. What a
I don't know where that came from, but tattoos. I don't know. It's just Now, if you put them side by side, they don't look alike, but yeah,
their vibe.
There he is.
Their
vibe.
vibe.
Nothing screams Brandon Lake more to me than Maddie Matheson. He's so
but just look at the arms. Look at the arms.
Seriously.
Okay, who did we watch him with? Who did that? It was a celebrity who was having people come over and cook with her. Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez.
Have you seen that show?
No.
Oh my gosh, she brings celebrity chefs in to cook at her house.
I've seen that, but I haven't seen it with him.
She did Maddie Matheson, and it was hilarious.
You know, Action Bronson's been doing a lot of stuff too. I don't know if you know who that is. He was like a rapper who's now, he's funny. Action Bronson on YouTube.
There's so many funny people out just doing different things, and it's such a great time for good ideas.
So he was like a rapper, and now he's like, he's doing like all this food stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And, you know,
I have seen this guy.
That guy, by the way, that over there, like, don't click on it, but that Stavi guy over on the right is so funny, but not appropriate for this podcast.
Yeah. Well,
he's funny if you're a sinner, not a pastor. I think he's reprehensible. I just want to clarify that if you're a reprobate, you think he's funny.
If you don't read the Bible, you might like that. But like Jelly Roll, like there's just so many funny people. Post Malone is a country artist. What a time to be alive.
No, it is. Yeah. I think even with podcasts, so it kind of exposes people to a different side of you, and then, lets people in on
so true
your humanity.
No, I've enjoyed it so
Shout
much.
out to Jelly Roll.
Shout out to Jelly
man,
Roll.
how powerful was his performance? Did you guys see it? The CMAs?
No.
Oh man, it's unbelievable.
We don't get stuff. There's a time delay before it gets to Montana, so our internet, we're just now on dial-up. We're very excited about
2028, we're going to be seeing that.
We're going to be
performance.
very excited. We haven't got the Super Bowl show that Posty did, but we're gonna watch that soon. How about that outfit when he did the Super Bowl?
Oh my God, yeah, crazy.
Polo tie.
Yeah.
He's got Wranglers on. Yeah. This cat.
No, and then he just did. Posty did a thing at CMAs too, and he full on country with the guitar.
Show me Post Malone's Super Bowl outfit. I was like, this man, because I don't think at that point I knew he was going country
that way.
I didn't have any idea how full tilt it was. That jacket.
Yep.
I love that suede jacket.
Can you show Post Malone CMAs because it's recent?
Is it better? Is the outfit good?
Oh, it's unbelievable.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah. He's gone down.
Partner.
He's gone down Alice's rabbit hole of country western.
Oh no,
Wow.
I'm okay. Do you own a bolo tie?
I don't.
I have two.
But I just bought my first pair of Tacova cowboy boots.
Oh,
Problem is, I don't have.
Congratulations.
You need boot cut jeans.
I don't have boot cut jeans.
You need boot cut jeans.
So I was trying to
people
put
wear
them on with
with
normal
baggy
jeans,
With
and
your
you
skinny
just
jeans,
see like
the shaft.
Yeah,
It's just
is
like
that
an
what it's
alien
called?
trying to come out of the
So
shaft
Shannon's,
of the boot.
is that what it's called?
Yes,
Okay,
that's what
so
it's called.
Shannon's like, that don't look right.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do I do? She's like, you got to go buy
boot cut.
boot cut.
Yeah.
So I got to go to like the boot barn when I
You
get
do
home
not
and
want to
buy.
tuck the jeans inside those boots.
No, you
that's
don't tuck them in.
That's a girl
Yeah.
move.
No. Okay.
No, very good.
So I did. I bought their black snake skin. I think, man,
Oh my
or
God.
lizard skin.
I think the show Yellowstone
That's
is
so
what exploded
fun.
this brand because so much of that
totally.
clothing is like the cast of Yellowstone's
Oh,
wearing.
Yeah, they're calling it
Really?
like Hollywood cowboy.
Yeah, 100%.
Like they're not real cowboys,
People
but
around
they're
here,
dressing in
people around
Western.
here are not a big fan of the
I
of
bet.
the look.
No, when I'm out here, I think those are it. Top left right there. I think. Yeah, when you're here, you're like, oh, this is the real thing.
Yes.
I ate
move.
at the Buffalo Cafe this morning.
amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're great.
It's fantastic.
We love
so
them.
good. I think those are it. Yeah.
Huckleberries. Well, we're excited for you, bro. The book, the church, you guys' building. When's
Oh
the
no, those
opening?
are Cayman. I
When-
didn't. They're not. I didn't get Cayman, but wow,
it's
next
a
level. Sorry.
Exotic, very expensive.
Yeah, we're building it.
lizard.
We're in a high school, and
When do you open?
we will move in. Who knows, right? Because they said July 2024.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
contractors
Oh, yeah.
are demon possessed. Let me just say.
I didn't see that going where it went.
Shout out to contractors.
Demon possessed. Contractors are demon possessed.
If you don't believe in hell,
Yeah. It is
just meet a
struggle.
No, I'm kidding. Don't,
Yeah,
no.
we're kidding. We're kidding.
We
We love
love
you,
contractors.
contractors.
We
We
love you
need
guys.
you.
We
Yeah.
really need you. You're a real vital part to the body of
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. Well, like we
forgive you.
I preached year end through this series about the building of the interstate system. And when they first proposed it, they thought it was going to take 13 years to get the whole thing done. It took 40.
Right.
They thought it was going to be like 10 billion. In today's dollars, it was like 500 billion.
Right,
It's like,
right,
and I was
right,
like, see also every construction
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be July 2024, and then so the goal right now is early. Basically, all they're committing to is quarter one of 2025. We're hoping for early February, so just a couple of weeks from this. So, I mean, we're close.
Gosh,
Tell
it must
you
be
what,
the opposite
So
building in Vegas. Because for here,
Summer's
it's
gotta
like
be hard to get guys out there.
you have
Yeah.
to thaw out the ground if they're building in the winter. But in the summer, it's like, I would imagine people are like
right,
dying of heat stroke.
it's so hot that they'll start at like literally 4:30 a.m. but then they're done like at noon. So it was really frustrating through the summer because you go out and you're like, where is everybody? And they're like, no, it's too hot.
Yeah.
You can't.
Oh yeah.
Every
have
render
to go.
you've posted, every shot you've put
Yeah.
up,
It's
I'm
beautiful.
Like, dang, this building's going to
Yeah.
be something else. I can't
It
wait to see
really
it.
is.
Can't wait to see it.
Excited.
It's beautiful. It was, you know, it was a labor of love, but we had a really great designer. And then, you know, it is, we're proud of it, you know? And so.
And the sacrifice and the miracles and
Yeah.
No, we're
Amazing.
ready. I mean, and the church has rallied, you know, it's been 6 years of Portable. So it's like,
Wow.
we're ready.
Yeah.
We're ready
absolutely.
for this thing to be in it. And then we'll see what is next, you know, but like, we think we'll have more campuses, but I'm also ready to have like I just saw Pastor Craig Rochelle September 2024. And he's like, you've got to start a second location on Easter Sunday. And I was like, no, like what? I was like, I can't even think about that. I can't even think about Easter, let alone starting a second location on Easter.
Right.
He's like, you're gonna outgrow that building so fast. You got to have a second location.
He plants churches when he sneezes on
it's like-
accident. You're like, did you just plant a church while you sneeze? Like, yeah, we just did a couple. I'm going to get in my airplane and go see it real
No,
quick.
because Shan was pushing for like, she's like, I think fall 2025, we start a second location. I was like, wow, that sounds scary. So I was telling him to basically complain to, and he's like, no, I think Easter. I was like, what are we talking about?
Wow.
I have no plans for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I believe.
But you know, we'll get there when we get there. But
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I think if the right building popped up or lease situation popped up, we'd be open to it.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'd go back to Portable right away.
Take a little break.
I will
Yeah.
say, when I see
yeah.
footage of your church, it really just strikes me just how ethnic and multi-ethnic
Yeah.
it is. There's just such a sense, and it seems like that's Vegas, right?
It is. Vegas is been called, they say it's the most diverse city in America that is not a mega city, right? So it's not New York, it's not Houston or LA, but it's the most diverse city of its kind. So it's 2.8 million. And they said Vegas is what America will look like in 2060. So over the next 40 years, America will look like Las Vegas. So Hispanic, Black, Asian, white. And our church looks like that.
Yeah.
And that was really
that comes through. The music, it comes through in that.
And it wasn't our hope to be like multicultural. Like we weren't like trying to be, but we did say from the beginning, we're like, we want it to look
Like the city
like Las
you're
Vegas.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where we're at.
absolutely. That's beautiful.
And it has. I mean, it's been pretty amazing. Like so it makes the church really fun too and really rowdy and really, you know, because you've got just so many different kinds of people.
Mm-hmm.
And so Filipino is there's a huge Filipino population in Vegas.
In Vegas, yeah.
Huge Hawaiian. We're called the Ninth Island.
When we were
we
in
heard about
Maui,
that.
a lot of the people were telling us that after the fire, when a lot of people left the island, Vegas, a massive amount of them ended up in Vegas.
Yeah.
And you know, Hawaii's so expensive now too.
Yeah.
As they get priced out, you know, they'll move to Vegas. We have and that's always cool because those two cultures are so family.
Yes.
So no one comes alone.
It's multi-generational.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So it's
under the same roof in all the places, right?
Rolling in.
They'll live in the same
Oh,
house.
yeah.
I love that.
And so it's cool. That's been a really sweet element of the church too, you know? And then, God's blessed it. I mean, we're really grateful for what he's done, but, and ready to have kind of an outpost, you know?
Absolutely.
Have an office.
Oh,
have
gosh. Well, we're so excited for you.
Have a whatever, like all those kind of things, you know? It's going to be cool. So
Not getting up
And
so
you'll
early
you'll always look back so fondly on this season. But it's like when your kid's in diapers. Like,
right.
would you want to go back to it?
Yeah.
No, you know, but you.
But it was precious.
It's sweet. It's important.
Yep.
You know?
No, totally. It's been a great. We're always excited about. We talk a lot about how much energy we're using right now to do what we do portably, and we're like, man, it's going to be awesome to take all that energy,
absolutely,
and do this and do take that just that manpower of I don't know 8 hours a week of just like grinding that we can actually use towards creativity and you know what I mean. So I'm excited about what it will do for our team, for our staff, for our church, you know. So, but also great to have that season because our staff has had to grind, you know, and so it'll be super rewarding for them because they've, they're all in-house staff members. So they've been in it, so.
Well, it was wonderful for
Incredible.
us to watch. Of course, I've loved and appreciated your ministry for a long time, and friendship, but also for us with Jenny's brother when they moved to Vegas, and Haley and Brandon. And it was just so great to watch the impact of your ministry and church culture on them.
Yeah.
It changed them, and they were always great. They were on staff here, but to watch them bloom and just the impact you personally had on Brandon.
Yep.
And so we loved watching that from across the country.
And we miss them,
Yeah.
so much. And so, I think they're in Hawaii this week.
They're
Yeah,
in
they
Hawaii
are.
right now. They're so sad that they're not here to hang out with you.
I know.
Because I was telling Goldie about Archer. They're about the same age. I think Archer's maybe a year younger, but they always had a cute little connection.
It seemed like they had a little buddy friendship.
He was so kind to her, and I think she loved the attention. I mean, it was like that kind of thing. So she always lets boys follow her around and do her bidding. She's figured that out. I'm like, where did you?
She's got confidence.
All right. Yeah, she does. She does.
Because she's well loved by her dad.
Yeah.
I think, and it is funny how she always will have little boys chase her around and just do whatever she wants. And so
she learned it early.
Golly.
Yeah.
And so, but I think, but Archer was always so kind to hers. But we told her, even with that, we're like, no, he won't be there, so you won't be able to see him. So, but
now, have you read, I forgot to ask you this, Strong Father, Strong Daughter?
No.
Bro.
Ooh, okay, I'll write that one down.
Meg Meeker is a doctor.
Okay.
That book, I sat and cried in a puddle.
Wow.
When I finished. She also has Strong
Mother, Strong Son.
But the Strong Dad, Strong Daughter.
Wow.
Bro.
Okay.
She's a medical doctor. All she does is, family doctor for kids. And she's just said, without my faith, without Christianity, just 20 or whatever years in the medical industry. Yeah, that's her, Meg Meeker.
All right, I'll get it.
She was just saying to watch girls come in to get their doctor, visits who don't have dads versus those who do.
Wow.
You can just straight up medically see the difference in their life. More, teenage pregnancy, drug use, suicidal ideation, all the things, everything. And she goes, is boiled down to as simple as a father in their life who loves them. And so just your daughter confident, like, of course the world's going to, not in a bad way, but that you clearly love
It's
her.
amazing too at this age too, at 8, like her and Shan will argue like teenagers. Like they'll talk to each other like sisters. I'll be like, are you guys sisters? Or, but like if Shan is getting to the end and I'll just go, Goldie. And she'll just like,
responds to your
and
voice.
It's not yelling, it's nothing like that. I'll just be like, hey, or she was doing her practice yesterday and on piano, and she always gets to the chorus. Right now she's doing Jingle Bells, and she gets to the chorus. She has it memorized, so she like goes into speed run. Da 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 da. I said, hey bud, we got to do it in time. You got to slow down. You got to. Oh, just fell down on the keys. So dramatic.
Your words way more. Your words way more.
So I gotta go sit with her. Dad, I know to do that,
Bro,
and
so she says in this book, this sentence, she says, the last moment of her life, your little girl, you'll be on her mind.
Wow.
Like it's just one of those thoughts of like you're going to be her best friend, the wife's going to be her best friend, like mom, but you're daddy.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Just like that.
Wow.
They say men on battlefields, when they die, they call out for their mom.
Jeez.
Vietnam, World War II, whatever. But it's when a young girl dies who's had a healthy relationship with her dad will be on her mind.
Wow.
So just to think of the weight of and the gravitas of that.
Dang.
No, totally. So I have to be super careful about because everything is, when I say it, it's a huge deal. And we started our miracle offering season, and we're giving to the building, and so she went to her piggy bank and got $2 out, and Shan's like, that's it, and she's like, yeah. And so I just kind of sat with her, and I was like, you feel good about that? Do you want to, maybe God will stretch you to give more? Do you want to think about it? She kind of like blew me off, and I was like, okay. I was like, whatever you want to give, And about an hour later, she came back down with the 20, and she's like, I'm going to give more, Dad. And so, but Shan was like, she didn't respond to me. She like blew me off.
Yeah.
But then, you talk to her, And so you do feel that like,
It's a
you know,
privilege.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's such a cool,
Wow.
you know, so she brought her 20 and loved it and gave it. And, you know, so it was just,
Sweetheart.
just that sweet little moments, you know.
Yeah. Oh my
She's pretty open to like the things of God. And it's fun to watch her worship and, you know, just that whole thing happening, you know, so
God.
Beautiful.
little artist. Yeah. So
So beautiful.
Jabin, this was
Love
great. Thank you for
thanks. That was
for hanging
fun.
out today. So fun.
Thank you.
That was fun. I love being here. My toes are cold.
Yeah.
And it's not cold in this room.
No.
I think it's just, they know.
No, it
They
is.
know.
They know there's snow out there.
They know is going to be the quote. It's not cold in this room. They know.
They just know. It's like, hey, by the way, I packed my UGG
Yeah.
shoes.
Yeah.
Just for the hotel room.
Yeah.
So yesterday
That's a good
I laid in
move.
bed, I took a picture of my shoes and she said, you brought them? I said, I just knew it was going to be cold.
I've been cold for 17 years, bro. Yeah, it's just, it is what it is.
They know.
They know.
They just know.
Oh my gosh, this was amazing.
The best.
Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to swing by levilusko.com and jennielusko.com to see what's going on in our world.
And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. And in the meantime, we would love to connect with you on social media.
Jennie and Levi Lusko out.
Access more